You are on the channel Paisa Ka Gyan. If you had opened the Bitcoin price chart this morning and saw this price, you might think that Trump mentioned cryptocurrencies and the strategic Bitcoin reserve. But no, he didn't. Moreover, there is another controversial issue he promised to address on his first day as president, but the information is conflicting. Let's talk about this in detail. It must be said that although events did not unfold according to the most favorable cryptocurrency scenario, we hope the situation with the normalization of the cryptocurrency market will gain momentum. Without a doubt, yesterday's inauguration left a slight bitter aftertaste, as it would have been nice if Trump had at least whispered the word cryptocurrency, but unfortunately, he didn't. This looks somewhat cynical, considering that before the inauguration, Donald launched two of his own tokens, Trump and Melania. Apparently, the new president earned quite a bit on these coins, so he could have said something positive about cryptocurrencies. For example, he could have mentioned them in the context of how the previous administration persecuted innovations in America. Furthermore, the first alarming sign yesterday was this document, where Trump outlined the priorities for Republican lawmakers and the strategic Bitcoin reserve. Of course, cryptocurrencies were not mentioned here as a primary priority. Later, as I mentioned, there was a speech, and it, too, had nothing to do with cryptocurrencies. The third point from yesterday evening is the publication of America's key priorities. And there, too, there is no mention of digital assets or their role in stimulating American innovation and the economy. According to the White House briefing, the key priorities of Trump's second term are energy independence, public safety, government bureaucracy reform, and promoting American values. The statement mentioned that all government agencies would take emergency measures to lower the cost of living and that President Trump would announce America's trade policy. Essentially, here's a brief summary from a cryptocurrency enthusiast's perspective. The first day, alas, did not show itself at the highest level in the US, as reflected in the charts. One not entirely unpleasant thing, since there is no 100% information and Trump's first day can already be said to have passed on his first day, the new president promised to release Ross Ulbricht, the creator of Silk Road. Donald had promised this at many cryptocurrency rallies, saying that on the very first day, Ross would go home. As we see, he hasn't yet, and such things are also alarming. However, Elon Musk said there's no need to worry, Ross will be pardoned. But since there are no documents yet, all this remains at the level of promises. Surely, some people, seeing such moments, will start gloating and saying, well, you got your Trump, and now he's fooling you. Again, if it were Kamala Harris, at her inauguration, Gary Gensler and several others responsible for persecuting the crypto industry would probably have been clapping the loudest, but we'll touch on individuals a bit later. For now, let's focus on this Trump order, which states that secret persecutions under Checkpoint 2.0 are ending. Specifically, the order says that the previous administration and its allies across the country engaged in unprecedented weaponization of prosecutorial powers to undermine the democratic process. They targeted individuals who expressed dissent against the previous administration's policies, with numerous federal investigations and politically motivated funding withdrawals that cost Americans access to essential services. This ties into what was done to the cryptocurrency industry, the widely discussed debanking of crypto, persecution on all fronts. Let's face it, Documents came from all agencies: the banking regulator, the deposit insurance agency, the US Treasury, and many more issued their anti-crypto documents, including an anti-crypto note from a Federal Reserve Division headed by Neil Kashkari. Therefore, at the very least, this order already opens doors for the cryptocurrency industry, but these are general words for now. We await further action. Let's move on to appointments. The Securities and Exchange Commission officially announced that the main puppet watchdog of the Biden administration is leaving the organization, and Mark Ueda has been appointed acting chairman. Ueda has voted in favor of Bitcoin ETFs and has repeatedly advocated against excessive repression of the cryptocurrency industry by this agency. However, there weren't enough votes out of 5 members. There were 3 Democrats, including Chairman Gensler. Naturally, all investigation votes were approved, no matter how cynical they were. And there were many such cynical investigations. We are also paying attention to a few other individuals, such as Caroline Pham, who will now serve as acting head of the U.S. Crypto Derivatives Regulator, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. We also see this as a positive, as she is among the new leaders who are favorable to cryptocurrencies. Perhaps Trump's second day as the 47th president will bring us, if not the best, then at least some news about the cryptocurrency industry. After all, from a cryptocurrency perspective, the inauguration was underwhelming, even though cryptocurrency enthusiasts, I remind you, invested a lot of money in Trump, and he didn't say a word. For instance, Michael Saylor tried to play the numbers game, saying that the 47th president of the US is buying $47 million worth of Bitcoin through his firm, World Liberty. Technically, this is true, but there's one catch: this Bitcoin was wrapped, and the crypto community is already discussing this, judging by the memes. They are even debating that wrapped Bitcoin is not Bitcoin. Incidentally, Saylor seemed to hint that he would buy it but didn't, and instead made a collage, saying, "We move to orange dots in honor of the inauguration." Essentially, this is just an excuse for not buying. We have covered the significant moments from Trump's inauguration as they unfolded. By the way, there's another interesting Trump order where he cancels Biden's previous order on artificial intelligence. Let's not forget to watch the traditional market, because the next week will be under the Federal Reserve's star, as it will hold a meeting. That's all for now. This was the channel Paisa Ka Gyan. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit the bell to not miss new videos. And like the video. There's much more interesting content to come. Bye-bye.